feels good. We're gonna start with mindfulness. So seated, kneeling, legs extended, whatever you like. Closing our eyes or even just lowering the gaze to relax the eyelids. We're gonna pay all of our attention to our breath. Not trying to change or force it. Just noticing what each inhale and each exhale feels like to the body. Bones to sink into the mat, the spine to lengthen long and tall with our inhales. Shoulders dropping away from the ears. Unclenching the jaw. Relaxing the forehead and space between the eyebrows. Lengthening the back of the neck, maybe tucking the chin a small bit. As we breathe gently, we set our intention for today's practice. It could be a single word or phrase you want to recite through the mind space. Maybe a feeling you want to invite into the body. Release. Light, strong, relaxed. Clear on our intention, and exhaling anything that doesn't serve us in this moment or align with that clear intention. Bringing our intentions together with our collective breath, starting with a big exhale. Don't be afraid to hear it. Together we inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gentle exhale, let it go. And again, we inhale. Letting it go with an exhale. Now finding whatever pace of breath feels most nourishing to you. As we start adding in small, gentle movements, anything that feels good. This is your chance to check in with the body. Notice if there's any tension or tight spots that need some love today. Blinking the eyes to bring attention forward. Letting arms fall to our sides, we'll move together. Inhale, big reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Dropping the shoulders away. We're taking 2 more just like that. Inhale, reach. Letting the breath guide the movement. Exhale, pull it down. Beautiful. 1 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale, pull it down. And that next reach, we're going into our side bends. Reach long and tall. And then exhale, dropping that left hand down to the side, fingertips reach long. If it feels good, you can bend or drop that elbow for a deeper stretch. Breathing into it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release into your side bend. Same idea, fingertips long, option to bend or drop that elbow. 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more time each side. Inhale long. Exhale, bend. Doing our best to keep both sit bones rooted into the mat. Lengthen that top arm. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, reach side bend. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale long. This time opening up the arms for our cactus arms, pulling elbows and shoulders down. We're taking 2 more. Inhale to reach. Exhale, feel the scapula move down the back as we open it up nice and wide. Last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it down, opening the front of the body. Let those arms continue to fall all the way down until they reach the mat. If it feels good, you can let the head be heavy or sway side to side if it feels nice. Idea here that you're releasing the front of the neck, releasing tension there. If you'd like a little more stretch on this one, you can walk those hands as close together as able, and then think of rotating those shoulders back, lifting chest to the sky. You'll lengthen the front of the body, maybe feel a stretch in the low back here. Maybe even into the arms. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently tuck chin to chest to release. And big circle of those arms, reach it forward. This time letting the back of the neck go. We shake the head no, nod yes. Let the head hang heavy. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently walk those hands back into neutral. The resting hands in the lap or on the knees will circle the head at any speed that feels good. Idea here really not to miss any corners, but take your time getting each spot of the circle. Reversing directions if you haven't already. On your next breath, finding neutral with the head as we move those circles into the shoulders. Taking an inhale to shrug shoulders to the ears. Exhale, circle back and down. Squeezing the shoulder blades before we drop them. Continue that motion on your own time, whatever speed feels good. Maybe one more before you reverse. reverse directions. Next direction would be inhaling shoulders up, releasing forward and down. Those shoulders with that lengthened spine, we're going to move it right into our hips, still seated, opening up those legs a bit wider into our butterfly. Soles of the feet connect. It feels good as you just get checked in with your hips. You can flap the wings, you can move side to side, maybe add some circles. Our hip and pelvis connection is something, especially as women, that we can hold a lot of tension in when we're stressed, when we're seated a lot or working hard. So we want to just notice where in our hips we might feel tightest so we can release it today. Right away into our seated cat-cows. You can hold onto those toes or ankles if it feels good. With an inhale, we're opening up the chest. Front of the neck expands as the head drops back. And exhale, round spine, tuck pelvis under. Really contract the body and chin to chest. 2 more sets. We inhale, lengthen, long spine. And exhale, release and round. The last set, we inhale, sitting up as tall as you can. And exhale, release. Beautiful work. Returning to neutral. We're going to take either leg you can start with. I'm going to start with my right. If you'd like to mirror, it would be your left. Opposite hand to foot for cradling, and you can cradle on outside or under, just depending on what feels best for you. Maybe opening motions or circular motions as we draw that leg closer and closer. This is plenty stretch for you. You can stay right here if you want a little more. Same hand to heel. We're pulling that heel back as we lift our chest forward, lengthening the spine. Feeling this one, you might need to play with it to find where that height is for you to get a stretch in your hip and hammy. With the option to extend the leg if it feels good for you today. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're taking that extended leg right on top into our half lotus position. So placing that foot onto the thigh. If it's a little too hard, you can even think the crease of the knee, just depending on where you need today. Lengthen spine. We inhale, reach long. Exhale, fold it forward. Or just keeping that long spine, hands down to the lap. It depends on where you are today. If it feels good releasing forward, stay there. If it's just more tight on the hip, you can always just have an extended spine and work on a little pressure of that leg. Notice what you need and respond to your body. Release back to your butterfly. Take a moment for yourself to check in. No rush. Whenever you're ready, we'll cradle that opposite side. Opposite hand to foot, and holding outside or underneath, your choice. Staying here in that cradle, or opening it up a bit wider, hand to heel, opening that hip and finding that adjustment point for you to lengthen the spine. With the option to extend. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale to release, crossing that leg over to your half lotus, setting that foot on the thigh or at the crease of the legs. Inhaling to reach tall. Exhale to find that long spine or release it forward. Breathing through the stretch. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release back to your butterfly. Taking one last moment here, or if there's any other stretches you want to add in a seated position, now is a great time to do so. When you're ready, I will meet you in our child's pose with back of the feet at the mat. No rush in getting there. Child's pose is a resting position. We can take it at any time in our practice today, anytime we need a break or just a reconnection to our intention that we set at the very start of practice. So for now, we take these deep belly breaths to settle our body into the mat. Make your way into your all fours tabletop position. Making any adjustments you need to find alignment. We want to spread those fingers nice and wide, pressing deep into the mat. Shoulders and wrists in alignment, as well as knees and hips. Relaxing the tops of the feet and ankles. Into our spine we go. We inhale to cow, dropping the belly, opening up the chest. And exhale to cat, rounding the spine, tuck chin to chest, pelvis under. 2 more sets. We inhale. And exhale, round. Last set, inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. Adding any circles or movement of the spine, hips and head for dancing lion. No wrong way to do this one, just getting into the body. Adding in to stretch for our wrists here. You can do one at a time or both at the same time. We're rotating that hand outward as far as able. It may not always point straight back. And then shifting your weight to find that stretch that feels good for you. The more forward you are, the less of a stretch into your forearms. As you lean back, you should feel it a little deeper. Three, two, and one. As we gently release those wrists, we're flipping them back this time so the top of the hand will be on the mat. Again, one at a time or both, up to you. Same idea, the more pressure we put on it, the more stretch we'll get, noticing how far back feels good for you today. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it, giving those wrists a break. We'll take it to our feet, tucking those toes under, sitting all our weight back onto those heels. If you feel plenty of stretch here, either in the Achilles or at the bend of the toes, you can just stay right here. If you want more, take that full weight into the kneeling position, resting the sit bones onto those heels. Really thinking about the stretch, especially under the big toe, and noticing if your pinky toe even engages with the floor. If you wear closed-toed shoes a lot, this is usually one that's really hard. You just want to kind of find that space for your toes that feels good. Three, 2, and 1. Gently release, hands come back. We're going to keep those toes tucked, hovering these just a couple inches off the mat as we engage our core, keeping spine long, starting to warm up that body internally. 4, 3, 2, almost there, and 1. Drop those knees gently, untuck the toes into one more dancing line as we start getting deeper into our spine. Adding our twist in from that tabletop position, we'll inhale right onto the sky. Exhale to thread the needle right under left. Side of the head comes to the mat. For more of a stretch, you can extend that left arm towards the top of the mat or take it behind your back. Three, 2, and 1. Gently untwist, making your way back to your all fours position, dancing lion if it feels good for you in between. When you're ready, we'll take it to the other side. The left arm would inhale to the sky this time, and then thread the needle left under right side of the head to the mat. Right arm can extend or come behind the back. Playing a little bit of peekaboo here, seeing if you can open up that right armpit towards the sky more and more for a deeper twist. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release, shaking it out, releasing the body. And into our low back and chest, we'll take our puppy pose, doing our best to keep our knees and hips in alignment. We'll take chest and chin towards the mat, sliding the hands forward. You can almost think of it as like your belly button pointing through your legs. Also the option, if you rest your forehead here, to take your hands behind the head, maybe add a little tricep stretch in here. And one, gently release, make your way back to all fours. Last dancing line here before we take it on up. When you are ready, take your time, tucking toes into your first downward facing dog. If it feels good, you can start with bent knees. You can pulse out one heel at a time, start waking up the back side of the legs, or move right away into extended legs, your choice. Ready to find some stillness, think of drawing those heels towards the mat. You should feel a stretch on the back side of your legs, and then your chest towards the thighs to feel more stretch in your spine. 4, 3, breathing, 2, and 1. Inhale to lift both heels to the sky like a calf raise. Exhale, bend the knees, hop or walk towards the top of your mat. With a soft bend of the knees, we inhale, find our halfway lift, lengthening the spine, and exhale, release the spine forward to hang. One more just like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Full breath to roll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Taking a moment for yourself at the top, any adjustments, shake it out, grab a sip of water, whatever you need here. We're doing all right so far. From here, we'll take our sun salutations. We'll do one nice, slow and controlled. Usually gets our core warmed up a little bit, so we have a little bit more warmth to get deeper into our stretches. 2, it will be one breath, one motion, so do your best just to flow it through. You do not have to match my timing. Find what feels good for you. Grounding our feet into our mountain pose, we drop shoulders down and away from the ears, soft joints in the knees so we're not locking, and rooted in our feet. Toes can be free, but the ball of the feet and heels are grounded. With an inhale, we reach high to our upward salute. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips, reaching to the toes. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold. Hands come down beside the feet into our high plank pose. Finding our length, we hold here as we breathe gently. Finding that alignment. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the body, either chaturanga, bending at the elbows, or knees, chest, and chin to lower into your upward facing dog or cobra. Difference being if you pick your knees up off the mat or not. And back to your downward facing dog. Pulsing it out, finding stillness, whatever you need here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise both heels. Exhale, bend the knees, hop or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold, and rolling the body up with a full breath, rounding one vertebrae at a time. Into our one breath, one motion, we'll go a little quicker. Inhale to reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release, hands down. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 4, 3, heels drawing down. 2, and 1. Now inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, hop or walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, find flat back. Exhale, fold. Full breath, roll up to standing as we move into our last set. Right away, flow through. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, take it back. Beautiful. Reconnecting with the breath if you lost it at all. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot stays grounded. We're brushing the left leg to the sky for three-legged dog. Option to bend that knee, open up the hip if it feels good in the back. 3, 2, and 1. Swing that back leg into the chest, and we're setting it down for our half pigeon stretch. Keeping that front leg bent, staying on top of it so we're not sitting on our bum, staying centered. Adjust as you need, and whenever you're ready, you can take it forward onto those elbows or maybe onto a block. We're gonna rest into this one for a moment, so just go ahead and breathe, settling in. Slowing down the breath if you can, and reminding yourself of that intention you set at the start of practice. Yogi's choice, staying right here if this feels good for you. If you'd like a little more stretch, we'll move into our king pigeon, walking those hands on up and bending the back leg. You could hold onto the heel, ankle, or foot with the same arm as leg, or maybe even add that foot to the crevice of the elbow. Should feel a stretch into the quad here if you're going for this one. Absolutely optional, just depending on what stretch you need today. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing by walking those hands back up. We'll meet in our high plank position. Tuck those toes. Once you find that high plank, flow through, exhaling to lower the body. Inhaling to your upward facing dog. And exhaling to your downward facing dog. Pulse it out if it feels good. switch to the other side, grounding that left foot, brush the right leg up for three-legged dog. Option to bend the knee, open up the hip. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Swing it through, set that right leg down for your half pigeon stretch. Make whatever adjustments you need to get your best hip and glute stretch, and then take it forward when you're ready. Also, if I didn't mention it before, you do have the option to still have blocks of setting that under your bum if you just need a little bit more support in your stretch. Slowing down the breath as we deepen the stretch. Yogi's choice to stay in your half pigeon stretch or move into king pigeon if you'd like to add a quad stretch. Bending at the back leg. One more breaths wherever you're at. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhaling to release wherever you are, walking those hands up. We'll again be in our high plank. One more nice flow through here. Exhaling to lower the body. Inhaling to open up the chest. And take it back to downward facing dog. Draw those heels down to the mat, chest towards the thighs. Really get that stretch into the back of the legs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Hover walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold. With a soft bend of the knees, roll all the way up to standing. Take your time. Give yourself a moment at the top to release it all. Great work, y'all. We're gonna take our one-legged balance today before we settle back down to our mat for those final deeper stretches. We're gonna go ahead and do our tree pose today, kind of keeping it basic. We're really pulling together all of our balance. You can start on either leg. 3 connection point options. Keeping those toes grounded and connecting heel to ankle is 1. Second option would be that whole arch of the foot onto the calf. We're really thinking the meat of the calf as the connection point, or with some assistance of the hand into the thigh. Only big no is on the knee joint. We don't want to put too much pressure on a joint. So as long as you feel some flesh, you're good. So wherever you are, ground that standing, supporting leg. And our working leg can find its connection point. Arms can be low branches, high branches, or even to prayer pose, just depending on what's going to bring you that centered, grounded yet long feel. We're thinking of that foot and standing leg pulling towards one another. And then opposite directions, head grows tall, foot stays grounded. And of course, breathing through it, resetting as many times as we need. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out and release. Take a moment. Whenever you're ready, go for it on the other side. Same 3 connection point options. Our key to our balance today is really that opposition, both legs towards one another, as well as crown of the head growing tall, rooted foot, just like roots of a tree, grounding down. When you're ready, find your balance. And again, the beautiful piece of this, you can reset as many times as you need. You got it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Awesome work, y'all. You made it through all the hardest parts. Now we get to take it back down. So coming back to the top of our mat, we'll take a flow through as we settle into the mat. From your mountain pose, we inhale, upward salute. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Using hands for support, open up those feet a bit wider, toes pointing out, heels staying in, down, and grounded as we drop those hips into our yogi squat. You can use your elbows for support, pushing those knees back as we sink those hips deeper and deeper. Go. Your choice if you'd like to add some movement, swaying, or maybe opening up the arms, or if you'd just like to embrace stillness in this position and this deep hip opener. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Using hands for support, gently release, finding your feet. Feet can stay at the top of the mat and holding onto our shins, underneath the thighs, or for more core work, reaching those hands forward. Let's round the spine down, taking our time. Tuck the pelvis for 8, 7, 6, 5, halfway there, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big stretch, reaching those hands far above the head. Toes can stretch in the opposite direction. And drawing our right knee into our chest, let's roll out that ankle. Adding in hip circles, as big or small as you like. And crossing the body, right leg over to that left side for your spinal twist. You can open up that right arm. Staying and breathing here for a moment. I'll give a little push.
Slowly rolls up you. No one knows love you. It's always the same drill. I need you. Feels like I'm dreaming. It's smoke for more healing. Keep anybody giving. Mama always said that. Be careful with fire. 'Cause you might just burn yourself. Oh, oh, the more you inspire, the more you see yourself. Before that I'm feeling.
Couple more long breaths here.
And I will keep breathing as long as it takes. Where will
And after that second breath, you can roll yourself back to center. Maybe giving that leg one more hug before you release it all the way down to your mat. Take your time, and when you're ready, switch to the other side, drawing the left knee into the chest, circling the left ankle.
you might just find yourself.
And adding in those hip circles.
The more you see yourself.
And when you're ready, taking it back into that spinal twist on this side, left leg over to right side, opening up the left arm.
You might just burn yourself. Oh, honey. The more you inspire, the more you see yourself.
Couple more deep breaths in your spinal twist. After that second breath, take it back to center, giving that knee one more hug before you release it down. And once both legs release, we're going to draw the soles of the feet together for reclined butterfly position. This will be our second to last position of the practice, so if there's anything additional you'd like to add in, now is a great time to do so. Otherwise, I'll come around to give you one last press here before we find our final pose. Extend those legs long into Shavasana or corpse pose. Our final position of the practice today, letting arms gently fall to your sides. Keeping palms open to the sky for an attitude of opportunity. And facing palms down to your mat for a feeling of more groundedness or security. With this being our last pose, I invite you to really embrace a sense of rest and presence, letting the weight of your body sink into the mat and be heavy, letting any thoughts of to-do lists or stressors float away as you refocus back to that intention you set at the start of practice. Relaxing here, I'll let you know when to bring your attention back for us to close together. To reflect, I have 2 questions for you. The first being, what are 2 things that you're grateful for in this moment? If you can actually picture them, sense them. The second question being, what is one thing you can release? One thing you can release today. Greater peace of mind, for greater relaxation, or even to reach that goal quicker. Answering those 2 questions and taking a deep belly breath. Practice gratitude for what our body's done for us today. I congratulate you for making that choice to give yourself this time. When you are ready, start bringing awareness back to your body, maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe it's a turn of the head or a big stretch. With kindness, we wake up our bodies piece by piece. There's no rush. When you're ready, I'll meet you in a seated position for us to close. Alrighty, y'all, we'll finish the way we started, letting arms fall to our sides. Big inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, pull it down, hands to heart center. And last one, seal in that goodness. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it down. Awesome work, y'all. We did some deep hip openers and some good twists, so make sure you drink lots of water today because that gets your digestive system flowing. But thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all continue to practice 10 a.m. next week. Namaste.